Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, fresh back from Comic Con, Mr. Joel Young.
What's up? No load time. Obed, I'm back. I don't know about fresh back.
Oh,
I'm still,
he's
I'm
back.
still,
He's back
I'm
though.
back in a capacity, but no, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Good.
It's funny because people would say like you have a vacation, but it wasn't really the traditional vacation. It wasn't like I'm sitting by the beach chilling
Right.
and come back refreshed. It was definitely in some capacity a working trip, but what a great trip nonetheless. So I
Yeah,
have
no,
nothing.
totally.
I know many people wish they could be going to Comic
Oh,
Con. I have nothing to complain about.
come on, dude. Of course. Yeah, and sorry about that, guys. Like the previous week, we
Oh
had
yeah.
some stuff came up.
Whew.
We couldn't record. We tried to reschedule. We just couldn't make it work because Joel was flying out to San Diego, and then he
Yeah.
was there all week last week. So, sorry about that. But I'm sure that if you follow the YouTube channel, you've seen that Joel's up to some stuff and some other stuff to come
Yeah.
once he gets some sleep. But sir, how are you, man? How you survive?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm doing great. It was a good trip. The main issues like how I was talking to you beforehand, like there's plenty of content that I have that I still need to upload and struggled a lot. I talked about in the daily recap videos that I did. Just struggled a lot with, having access both even at my hotel and even at the convention center. I mean, even just doing the recap video for Saturday's Hall H. I left the video uploading, went to sleep, woke up, and it was like 44%. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Oh wow,
This is like an 11-minute long video. It should
that's
not be taking all
insane.
night.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when I tell you guys I was trying but yeah, I mean, regardless, I don't know. Do you want me to wait to go into Comic Con
Yeah,
stuff or just
we'll
come
we'll
back to
we'll
that?
wait. We'll wait. I'm sure you
Yeah,
do some things. I
for
did
sure.
I did some stuff. So I guess this could be like an evergreen episode almost because I mean we're
Yeah,
gonna get a full recap of what you did and what you saw and what's to come that you're gonna post out there.
sure.
But I finally got time to do crap. So
It's great. Let's
hey,
go.
let's go. So I'm gonna leave the freshest one for to the end. I watched two movies in the 2 weeks that we didn't record. So I watched the two Kingdom movies. I mentioned one to you. We were going to discuss it a couple of weeks ago, but we couldn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
watched Godzilla and Kong. What was it called again?
New
The New
Empire.
Empire. New Empire.
New Empire. Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's yeah.
You're not gonna go in with the same mentality as you go when you go watch -1, right? It's a
Right, right.
literally a completely different monster on its own. No pun intended. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it, and here's why I enjoyed it, Joel. Because I think that out of all the MonsterVerse movies, this is the one that actually concentrates a lot into what's going on in the with the monsters, right? Like the monsters, like Kong takes like front and center is the MC, and then Goji's over here just powering up for a good hour and 20 minutes, and not really doing much, but he comes in and do his thing. I liked it. I don't think you know what I don't think I like it better than of course the first Godzilla. I think it was good. King of the Monsters was good. I enjoyed both of those pretty good. Godzilla versus Kong. I think I like this one maybe a little bit better than Godzilla versus Kong, even though Godzilla versus Kong had Mecha Godzilla, which I love.
Right.
But I just think that the movie overall, this one, the the way that they made everything work, I guess, uh, seemed a little bit more streamlined. I think the pacing was a little bit better, and that maybe because of that, I
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
it a bit
agree.
more. Okay,
I
okay.
agree. We're on the same page. It's
Okay.
not that it's a terrible movie, but the last one had a like start to end was a little bit more flowed properly. Like you don't
Yeah.
the moment that they actually like Kong makes it down with spoilers, guys, like into
Yeah.
this new and he's meeting with, his rival, like it starts to pick up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Once you get to that park, it really ramps up and it's really good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's just like and I'm not saying that the build up to that moment is bad because it's not. It's
No,
it's
no.
fun. It's a fun
Yeah.
movie. It's actually quite fun.
Right.
But don't go watch that movie after watching -1 and expecting to get emotionally invested in this creatures. There's the I called him Diddy Kong. I guess he has a name, but I just called him Diddy Kong for the whole movie.
He's going Nintendo, honestly.
Yeah, right. And like I said, it's Godzilla just powering up for an hour and a half, just eating other monsters and eating you know power plants, and it's fine. And I think the last action sequence was actually quite good, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I think we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah, you remember when I talked about? I was like, well,
Yeah.
it's not a shame, but it is kind of a shame that like Godzilla -1 came out before because you have an absolute masterpiece, and then you have like this is fun. Like
It's fun.
kind of
Right. It's fun.
like I would watch it again, sure, like on a random Saturday night and just hang out.
Right.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I'd rather watch this than some of these Oscar nom films, but that's
Oh
just
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
other
Oh,
reasons.
totally, totally. Yeah,
You know, but that's a conversation for another
No,
day.
right. This is a different podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Go to
no, I
Patreon.
right. Yeah, there you go, Patreon. And I also watched Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. So both of the Empire movies. You have you watched that one yet?
No.
Okay, not gonna go into.
I didn't even watch the one before that. And to be honest, like Ghostbuster, after the
Afterlife?
Melissa McCarthy one, I never came back, and
Dude.
that's like not even the same thing.
Afterlife,
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they brought back the cast.
Okay. This movie felt like a Marvel movie
Interesting in a good way.
in a good way, I think.
Okay.
I know it was kind of divisive. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people were like,
Okay.
like in the middle, right? It was, it was good. I enjoyed it, right? I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's just that the movie starts with, action sequences and stuff, and then it's the Marvel build up to the end.
Okay.
So Age of Ultron.
Yep.
It starts with
Same formula.
yep. It starts with like the whole action sequence thing, and then like not a lot of stuff happens in between, but stuff happens that impacts the story. But yeah, but then you build up to the final like action sequence thing. Some of the choices were strange in a Marvel way. If you watch it,
Okay.
it's good. I do recommend it. But once you watch the movie, Joel, you'll see that it flows like a Marvel movie. Like it looks like they sat down, right? And Jason Reitman and the director, I forgot the name, sat down and say, how do we make Ghostbusters Marvel? And they watched some Marvel movies and they kind of came up with the Marvel formula for Ghostbusters and applied it. I think it was. Here's what I liked it. I liked it because there's one of the OG Ghostbusters is an active member of the story throughout the entire movie, which was great. And they do go a lot into not only the ghost stuff, but like mythology stuff that's involved in the whole Ghostbusters mythos. So,
Yeah.
they did a good job at that, and I think it was good. It was good. It was easy to follow. It was the pacing was fine. The effects were good, and like I said, it's it's also like like a coming of age story in two places, right? It's like the you know the younger person accepting that they're no longer a kid and they want to do this thing, right? And then the older person accepting that maybe I am too old for this thing, right? So it's really good. They played it really well, and I think it was good. So I really enjoyed it. So I'm good. And I do recommend it. I do recommend Afterlife too. So maybe Joel, you can have one of those like Saturday movie marathons and watch both of them back to back. And
I have so much things to. I haven't watched last week's House of the Dragon yet. I'm gonna catch up.
yeah, I gotta watch The Boys, which I'm gonna come back to in a second.
Oh, yeah.
But I haven't watched any of it yet. Went to Hollywood Studios yesterday. That was
Oh man, that's my place, bro.
that was
That's
good.
our place.
Okay, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I had a good time. Again, it's unfortunate that Epcot is no longer my favorite park, and Hollywood Studios is. So, putting that aside, right? Putting my emotions aside, we had a really good time. It was good. Everything was working, to some extent. I didn't see anything egregious or like park was dirty or anything weird like that. People were well behaved. Everything was fine.
Very good.
Yeah, overall had a really good time. Did about a 25-minute wait for rice, dude.
Well, that's fantastic.
They said 45 minutes or 40 minutes, and did about 25 minutes, dude.
They always overestimate
Yep.
it. And if there's a ride to wait for, that's the one.
Right.
Because I say it, the ride starts while you're in line.
Right, exactly.
So it's not really like you're waiting.
Yeah. So, Mel was able to knock that out. My daughter was able to do a few things that she didn't do before. We didn't get to do Slinky Dog because it was really hot, and I totally forgot, dude, that theater, the Beauty and the Beast theater,
Yeah.
in the afternoon is a freaking oven, and I forgot about
yeah.
that because I've
There's
known that.
There's no real shade, no real
Well,
like
there's
breeze.
there's shade. It's just that there's no the way it's constructed. There's no breeze going through it. So I forgot that even back when I was a cast member, my wife and I would try to catch the show early because in the afternoon you would get cooked in there, bro. So we went in there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon for the show, and we were like flipping, melting,
time of the day.
like melting down, and my daughter started feeling nauseous because of the heat. So she was like, "Oh, I don't feel good." I was like, "Oh, let's go to the store. Let's hang out in the store. Let's just get
Cool off.
cool off, and let's see if you feel better." So ended up going to the Walt Disney thing, the One Man's Dream.
Oh, it's great.
And
That's
just
a great place to cool
yeah,
off.
just took my parents took a nap, and
Yup.
she got refreshed, and
Perfect.
and then I asked her, it's like, hey, do you want to go do Slinky Dog now? It's a 60-minute wait. It was already 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you want to do Slinky Dog? And she's like, oh, I do, but I'm not feeling good. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go to the shops in the entrance, the main line, and then we can go home. It's fine, no worries. But by that time, dude, we did everything else. Toy Story Mania, we did Rise, Star Tours. I did a Star Tours that I've never done before, which was great. So that's awesome.
Did you get any of the Mando or something?
I got Lando.
Nice.
I got
okay.
Lando.
The solo Lando. Yeah.
No, I got Lando from from Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, nice.
Yep. So that was cool. And then Toy Story Mania, we were gonna do Tower of Terror again. She wasn't feeling good. It was unfortunate. Runaway Railway, not too, yeah. We did really good. We got there pretty early too. We like at 8:45 before the park opened. So yeah, we had a great time, man. It was good.
Oh yeah.
That's a fun
good.
park. Like out of all the Disney parks right now, yeah, sure, it's probably the best one. I love Magic Kingdom, right? It's special, but park's fun, dude.
No, for sure.
It's not too big. It has plenty of stuff to do. Good food. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's cool. So we did really good. All right, Deadpool and Wolverine, Joel. You haven't watched
Go
it.
for it. No, I have not. I've got a story around why I didn't, but you go ahead.
I'm gonna start with a rating. I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
That's a very good rating.
An 8.5.
Wow,
It was good. It was good.
that's a good rating.
I liked it better than 2.
Oh
Than
yeah.
Deadpool 2. Okay. I don't want to, dude. The whole movie's a spoiler, so I really don't want to go into it. Right?
I mean, I've seen a lot online. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to miss.
That
Unfortunately,
happened to me a little bit.
and I try not to.
Right.
But
That happened to me. That's why I started. Like I stopped. I didn't look up videos or anything. I had one thing that got spoiled, and that was it.
okay.
But like getting the surprises were so good. Like that, this movie thrives on the surprises. It's like surprise this thing, surprise this thing, surprise. Right? It was good. Like if you and you don't have to. Very different from all the other Marvel movies, where the only MCU stuff that you need to watch for this movie is Loki, and then, but you do need to watch the X-Men movies up until Days of Future Past, probably, and Logan, of course, and then the Deadpool movies. And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to go into spoilers. That those are the only movies that you need to be aware of. Probably.
We're gonna have a spoilers follow up.
Right.
We're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to. Yeah. Because it was good. I really enjoyed it. Very. Probably the most violent movie I've watched in a long time. Very, very. It's a 2.5 hour episode of The Boys, basically.
Okay.
Like it feels like they were going for that, even though Deadpool did it, a few years ago when the first one was released. That was what, 2014, right?
Something
13,
like that.
15?
Yeah, maybe 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, because I remember lending you the Blu-ray before the podcast was even a thing. So.
Very true. It's true. You did. It's very true.
Yeah. It did feel a lot like The Boys, but with the Marvel surprises, and dude, it pokes fun at Fox, pokes fun at Disney, pokes fun at the MCU as a whole.
Wow.
DC,
I heard there's a DC thing.
No one's safe, dude. It was so good. I've seen some people on the internet being offended. It's like, bro, you were offended 25 minutes in. You were not offended when this stuff happened in the first 5 minutes. Are you serious? It's really dumb. Like people get
it's a parody.
Like, right? It's not. It's clear that this type of movie is not meant to be taken seriously because it is a parody. It's not only like we're up to the point that people cannot even have not. And I'm not saying social commentary, but satire. Like people, you have satire, and people are like, oh, "I'm offended." It's like,
yeah,
you're dumb. You're dumb.
And of all the movies, it's not like you went to go watch something that's supposed to be like super wholesome and this united, whatever. No, this is Deadpool. Going into this that these movies are the intention around them is to be this type of. If you've watched any of them, it's all the same thing. Exactly. It just sounds like this one's on steroids. Like it'd be different if it was like I didn't sign up for this and then I'm getting something. But come on,
right.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you can't go into this expecting like a Spider-Man movie.
Exactly.
Right. Like you can't.
Or Miss Marvel.
Like I don't know. Right. I don't. Yeah. I don't know what people were expecting. One thing that I do want to spoil.
Sure.
And is the mid-credit thing that happens.
Okay.
Because I think that was probably the most emotional thing that happened in the entire movie. Because this movie, like Deadpool's usually get emotional. It gets emotional. There's some emotional moments, but it doesn't get as emotional as especially one, and two to a certain extent. But then it has something mid scene or mid credits that it was like, wow, it's like end of an era. This is insane, right? And
Years, man.
it was good. It was really emotional. It was like, even the song choice and everything was phenomenal. So highly recommend that you first, you're gonna say for that, the end credit sequence. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's not completely relevant to what the future is, right? It does
Okay.
address something funny that happened in the movie, but that mid credit sequence is like, I was there from the beginning, and then it hits you. It's like, I was there from the beginning, and it's one of those things. It's like, oh, like Marvel has a lot of, I don't, and that's fine if you're a normie and you're a casual fan. It's completely fine if you enjoy the Marvel movies from a distance and whatnot. But we when I was fighting the fight down in the trenches, and this comic book movie started coming out, and I was there, and just watching that little thing they had, I was like, dang it,
Wow.
that was good. So definitely stay and watch it. Overall, Joe, like, action sequences are great. The acting was good. It was freaking hilarious. And again, like I said, it's not. These movies are not for everyone. Like, of course, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very bold thing that, like, it's actually kind of jarring. Watching this movie, and then at the end of the credits, it's like distributed by Walt Disney Pictures, because it's like, the heck, like,
Yeah.
Walt, Walt, what the heck? But at the same time, it's like, they're evolving. They're evolving. We'll talk a little bit more about Marvel in a second, but I think it was solid, Joel. I think it was very, very solid. I think you'll like it. And it's gratuitous in its violence and its commentary and its the language and all that, right? Super out there. Not for everyone. But like, if you're a Marvel nerd that's been invested since the beginning,
For
with
references.
X-Men, and you want to see a glimpse of things to come, then you will really like this movie. I can see a lot of people, like, I went by myself, of course, to watch it. I can see my wife, when we watch it at home the next time, that she's gonna be a little bit more apprehensive, because she's not really big into, like, violent stuff, and this movie is like over the top violent, like crazy, dude. But I'm not talking RoboCop. Yeah, sure, RoboCop levels of violent. Yeah, RoboCop's like, it's like, it's like, yeah, no, it's fine. RoboCop was awesome for its time, but this takes it to a new level. It's good. It's, again, if you watch The Boys, do you know what to expect? And this movie feels more like The Boys than other, like, than the previous Deadpool's. And now The Boys, like, they do cross that line into some other
Sure.
things,
Sure. Yeah.
that, but when it comes to, like, the violence and the commentary, it's there. So I don't want to talk about anything else, because I don't want to spoil absolutely anything. I had a good time. I laughed a lot, and it was fun, and the action sequences was great, and teared up a couple times because it was hype. So just leave it at that. You go enjoy it, sir. So,
Man, I would have seen it.
well,
I
yeah.
would have seen it while I was out there.
What's up?
Okay. A quick rant. We'll talk about other things at Comic Con. So, San Diego Comic Con, usually most panels, events, things is usually first come, first serve. They have certain rules around it, and wristbands and this or whatever, but generally speaking, it's first come, first serve. So you can get in line. If you make it early enough, you'll make it in. Well, with Deadpool and the Wolverine, literally the week before, when we didn't have a podcast, they randomly, which we knew they were going to do something,
Right.
but they announced randomly last minute, hey, on Thursday night, we're going to have a Deadpool and Wolverine Celebration of Life panel. I was with you. I was with you when they announced it. I told you about this.
Right.
So they told everybody, look, for us to do this, We need everyone to sign up on their website using the email that's for their Comic-Con badge. And if you're selected for you and a plus one, you'll get an email confirming it, and it'll be linked to your badge or whatever. I put in for it. I didn't get it. Chances are very slim of getting it anyways. 6,000 people they could fit in this room. 130,000 people, according to the local news, they told us was out there at the convention. Very, very slim chances of getting in if it's not first come, first serve. So all that happens. Get in line for other things. End up finding out afterwards that they ended up taking people who did not have a ticket and just took them in the room. And people who did have a ticket, some of them got denied entry because they already got to capacity.
Oh,
And there was
no.
an angry mob outside of Hall H of
Oh,
people just
Joe.
being like, I have a ticket. Why am I not in there? Like, I have a guaranteed seat. I'm supposed to be watching this
Man.
thing. I'm glad I avoided it to some extent, but it's also
Right.
upsetting because had they told everybody it was first come first serve, I could have been sitting in there watching with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman watching the movie together, and they gave everyone those Wolverine
Oh, the
popcorn
popcorn
buckets.
buckets?
They
Yeah.
gave everybody one of those, and they also had, without spoiling, like they had a bunch of the stars that are in the movie, some of the big cameos. They had pretty much all of them there watching it with everybody. Um, Spoilers, cover your ears for like the next like 15 seconds if you haven't watched the movie. But, like Jennifer Garner was there, and now if you saw the thing about her getting stuck in an elevator. I don't know if you saw this thing going around,
Yeah, I
but
did. Yeah.
she got stuck in an elevator for an hour, dude.
Yeah.
So it was bad. But anyways,
Yeah.
so that's the side part. But because of that is why I did not see it while I was out there. I would have been right there watched it. And they had a drone show right after, and many have seen this online.
Right.
Right when you leave, right outside the convention center. So I'm in line for the Friday Rings of Power thing, getting my wristband, doing the right thing, and then I look out to the sky and you're seeing these awesome drones. It was a really cool thing. But yeah, when I see the movie, we'll talk about it for sure. Um, Anything else you want to talk about before I jump in?
No, no. That's I'm at the final boss on the Elden Ring DLC. I want to bash my head against the wall. It is it is hard, dude. It's very hard. I got about I got about three quarters damage done to it, and it's good. Like there's some really cool like lore revelations and all that that's happening, right? And I'm having a good time, but yo, this boss is insane. Like guys, like this makes the Orphan of Kos like that guy. Yeah, man, that's the only round I have for this week. It's like that boss, bro. Like what the heck, you guys? It's like I can't dodge. I can only hit him like twice, and then I have to like roll again because there's like maybe once. I don't know. My the companion is pretty much useless because like I'm trying to get him. I was like, all right, just go get the other guy. Like, stop trying to hit me. I was like, I can heal up, and like he doesn't go aggro against the other guy. And I was like, God, come on. I'll beat him tomorrow probably. So we'll see. I got stuff to do here in the house, so I may not put as much time as I want to, but I'm hoping that tomorrow morning I can get it done. So, but yeah, that's other than that, that's what I got, sir. Go ahead and take over with okay. I want to ask something first, Joe.
Go ahead.
Um Aside from how everyone feels about it, I don't know how you feel about it yet. What was was there a small explosion in that room when RDJ came out?
Oh, it was electric. You could just feel the tense of I mean, like the audio can't capture it well enough.
Yeah,
It was an
did you
absolutely
know did you
insane moment.
know or do you have any
Yeah,
suspicions? Okay.
yeah. I had a guess. There had been an article, and this I was going to talk about on the podcast from the week before, I want to say his name is Jeff Snyder. He has the In Snyder or whatever like newsletter. He's a journalist. He's done like stuff for like Variety, Big, whatever. And he had put this thing out and been getting passed around of, hey, like we have this we have this information that supposedly there's been talks around, specifically RDJ coming back to play Doom. But then he straight up said, like, oh, my sources like said that's not happening. Like it's not a thing. And this is like from a week before, so I was like, oh, I guess it's not happening, whatever. But then when you're there in person and things are going the way they're going, you're like, wait a second. They straight up the build up to the moment is like the Russo saying, we need one of the greatest actors of all time, one of the greatest actors of this generation. Like only one person could really pull this off. And you're like, there's very few actors that you could put in that category, like for them to do. And when he stepped forward, like all the Dooms move aside and he steps forward as the Doom, it's like you could tell it's like from the stature of the person, you're like, there's only a few people this could be. And I was like, it's either like freaking Tom Cruise or it's RDJ. Like it could have gone either way because like the height and like the bill, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was RDJ. And that was a huge moment.
Okay.
Huge moment. I mean, I guess I should go through kind of just like a high overview of some of the highlights and
Right.
some stuff doing out
Sure.
there. So we'll start off with that and give a little commentary on like how things were going.
Yep.
I got in on Tuesday night last week Tuesday night. Wednesday was preview night. Before going into preview night, I was able to go to the Comic-Con Museum in Balboa Park. Balboa Park is gorgeous. If anyone goes to San Diego, it's just a beautiful area to go to in general. So they opened up a Comic-Con museum there. They had extended the invite for us having the press pass to go out there and go for free, and also just to cover it and give an inside look at it, and also do an interview. So I went out. I was able to tour the facilities, and then I had an interview with Courtney Gant. She's the Senior Advancement Director at the Comic-Con Museum. Super sweet, nice lady. Took her time really walking me around and showing me a lot of stuff. And then we did an on-camera interview. I'm still editing it. I'm still in the process of it's like almost done. Once I have a little bit of time here over this weekend, hopefully I have it edited and have that posted. We'll give you a little bit of a look at it, but it was a really good conversation. We talk. One thing you want to listen out for those who are interested in going to Comic-Con and you struggle with the Comic-Con lottery. I talked to her about the Legends Pass. That was one of the questions I had pre-prepared, and listen to her explain about the Legends membership. It's something that's a great way to get people, So yeah, like that's one of those things that highly recommend for everyone to check out. And then, so after that, then I went that night to the convention center. Preview night, just basically where you get, 3 hours of access to the show floor. And from there, you're good. You get to go through and, just see some of the activations before the mad crowd. There's a few panels technically, but not really on that front. So I took time to really just go through the show floor best I could. Get some videos. If you guys check out the channel, you'll see I have some walkthroughs of some of the booths. Just talk about the show for a little bit. Like they did not have any major photo op areas or experiences on the show floor. It was very heavy on just like selling merchandise and items, which is kind of what most show floors are like other conventions. But for Comic-Con, I found it a little bit weird. Like if you go to MegaCon or something, that's usually how it is. But San Diego,
that's what I've seen from MegaCon. Yeah.
It's like it's pretty standard for everyone, but like for San Diego, I thought it was a little bit different. Marvel had a really cool booth. If you look at the video, it's very simplified. Their booth's one of the most crowded areas for obvious reasons. They actually have a stage on the show floor that's separate from the other things. And a lot of times you get random appearances, giveaways, this, whatever. And that area becomes like a mosh pit of people just pushing into the area. And because of that, it's just tough, to try and get over there because security starts telling people you have to move, you can't be there. So they made their stage and their layout. If you look at the video, see it's very different from the past. Really cool. They had a Captain America Brave New World, the costumes on display, and then they also had the Deadpool and the Wolverine costumes on display, like from the actual set. For the Captain America Brave New World one, that one's interesting because, and I'll talk about when I talk about some of the footage that they showed us. But you get the look of the actual mask that Sam Wilson was wearing as Captain America, and that really just two versions of
suit.
the new suit,
Yeah,
which
it
makes
looks
sense.
really good.
Looks really good.
We
And it
didn't
makes
talk
sense.
about that trailer because we haven't been here.
I
It's been a bit.
know, literally.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense, right? Because like Iron Man needs a mask and stuff because of the altitude. He's a human going in certain areas and stuff. Like he can't be just wearing these really cool sunglasses. You know, he's got to be able to like do something else. You know. So yeah, I like that was one of those like cool like get a close up look, and like I think then from there, DC, they had a pretty decent booth. They usually have a little bit more going on, but their booth was a little smaller. They were selling like a 75th anniversary Superman statue. That was kind of cool, gold statue that everyone's taking pictures with. Funko had a good area. AMC had an actual booth. Like they had like a little AMC. Look at the AMC theater concession stand. I was like, this is hilarious. AMC is out here. What is this? But yeah, that's some of the main things I talked about there. Was not as exciting as it's been in the past, to be honest with you. I was a little surprised. And from there, you also have you have then the next day being a Thursday. So I spent Thursday doing a couple different things. I'm trying to remember fully what I did on Thursday, but one of the things that we did is we did the outside experience for Abbott Elementary. That was fun. I don't even watch that show, but it was crazy, dude. They had like a festival based on one of their best performing episodes the ABC had, and it was like Ava Fest or whatever. They had swings. They had like the strongman game and like the water like shooting target. It looked like a full like carnival like
fair
setup, like
almost,
legit
yeah.
fair. I was like, this is like a little fair outside of comic. It was crazy. I mean, Marvel had a cool thing too on the other side for the what's the name of the Marvel mobile game? Was it Marvel Legends or Marvel Champions of Heroes of Champions?
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
They had like a huge Ferris wheel on the other side of the convention, outside the convention center. It was pretty cool to see that. But I had fun out there. Got some free hats and stuff. And then for the next thing we had was I got to do the Percy Jackson and the Olympians panel. I've talked before about the show. I've enjoyed it on there. And the sense, dude, it was crazy to see how packed and how much passion there is for this show. I thought it's a small Disney Plus show that, it's not that it's doing bad, but just has a niche following.
Right.
But, really had a lot of people. I just think that literally like they I just think that literally they took it in a place of just kind of taking it of like a fanfare, celebrating what they had done before with the season. And then at the very end, they then teased the new season. They didn't really talk too much about the upcoming season, except for, they are going to have spoilers, Perseus' brother that some might know about showing up. Then from there, like that's where I did not get into the thing I was talking about before with Wolverine and Deadpool. So I ended up doing the Her Universe fashion show. Ashley Eckstein does, the voice of Ahsoka Tano, hosted that. Her team gave me press access to go out there and cover. Really appreciate that. Some really cool merch and stuff. Like there's like a hoodie I have. I got the show one of these days that I got out there that it has like the dark saber like behind it, and, like the Mandalorian logo on the front. I just appreciate the fact that they have like merch that is not your traditional nerd. That's like just put an IP on the front of it and sell. Like it's actually creative. It's interesting. So this is not a paid promotion. I'm just saying. I just think it's like if you're looking for like cool nerd clothes and you don't want just to wear a shirt that has, a lightsaber on it, like do something cool about it. They do that. So then, for the next thing, they for the next thing, they ended up. Then I ended up, getting my wristband for Friday. Friday morning was the Amazon panels. Now, outside of Marvel, like this was some of the best stuff I'd seen at Hall H. They had the boys first, and then they had Rings of Power. The boys, like the first thing. So one of the things that they did is Warner Brothers has done this in the past, but they literally have these panels all on the sides of the room, going around the sides of these screens that come out. And it's just absolutely insane. Like the pictures don't do justice when you're experiencing the immersiveness with a surround sound and these things flashing around the side of you is nothing you get in a movie theater. Is even more cooler. But they had a musical number from some of the top songs that they sing like in the show.
Yeah.
They brought actual Broadway singers there,
Yeah.
like to sing. And they talked a little bit about some of the new stuff coming up. They showed a trailer for Gen V and some other projects, the spin-off that they're doing as well for gosh, I forget the name of the group. But then as you know, I don't really watch The Boys. So
Oh yeah.
don't know enough to
They're
get
doing
through it.
a Soldier Boy spinoff.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just literally they then we have the Rings of Power one. The Rings of Power one was crazy, bro. The Rings of Power one, they had the live, like a live choir with the composer, and they had like these drums, and they're just like singing like whatever about Adar. And if you follow us on X, there was the only place that the video would actually post. I put on there. I'll post it on other places too, for sure. But pretty cool moment there. They showed us what all the rings look like. We got the new trailer, which I'm pretty sure they put out online.
I think it's out there. Yeah, I haven't watched it.
And with the new trailer there, and then we had like a behind the scenes featurette. But the long and short of it is, there's a lot of characters that you have from the films that we know of the original trilogy and from the books. Obviously, the books preceded the films, but like spoilers, like it's in these trailers you've seen it, but it's like Belrock is in this new season, and you have the Aunts are in the new season, and you have a troll that's in this new season, and some other things like that. That's pretty cool. And then like they addressed some of the concerns that some people had from the first season. One of them that I've talked about a little bit were like some people were mad that they were like, why is Galadriel like this warrior, but like Elrond's just like the scholarly bro that's just whatever.
Okay.
And I know people would be like, like, hey, like he's a warrior. We know that from these other things. Like when they show that, well, they literally course correct that here. You get like, Elrond in full battle armor, like riding into war, and like I forget the statement, something like let us bring death upon our enemies today or whatever, and just charge forward. It's like some cool stuff like that kind of sets some of the concerns aside. You also have from there like a pretty cool like war sequence. They give us a behind the scenes feature that they didn't put out where they show us a lot behind the scenes about the stunts and some of the war things that they're doing. I want to say, don't quote me on it, but I want to say they're doing like a 3-episode war arc. Like it's going to be spread across 3 episodes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so it's going to be pretty lengthy. There's like this really cool sequence when like the orcs are bringing before Adar like this like they have like captured up like the main troll character that's gonna be new in it, and like Adar's like, bring him to me, and they're like, but sire, he kills our own kind, like don't, like we can't let him loose, and he's like, bring him to me, I don't care, I'll tame him. And just cool moments like that you could just sense like it's gonna be intense, it's gonna be exciting, some adventures, it's gonna be action packed. Then from there, you have another thing where you start going into then some of the other panels that they had for the day. The next thing I did was a Collider directors on directing. It's kind of cool. You had the Olympus Has Fallen director and the White House Down director talking at the same time. It's kind of funny because they both made obviously similar movies, similar timing, and the director that did the Patriot, is the same one that said Olympus Has Fallen, and he had some really fun stories to tell. But the main thing is that I spent the rest of the day waiting to get in for Saturday. Had to get my wristband for Saturday, and make sure I was gonna get in for that Marvel panel. I knew I couldn't miss it. Flash forward to Saturday. Get in. First panel of the day is Superman and Lois, final season. Ironically, they started that show in the middle of COVID 3 years ago. You guys know I've ranted about that show quite a bit, but I digress. Spoilers, if you haven't watched the last season, Doomsday is battling Superman. He's flying out into space, and he's away. And Lois, they show us a clip of, and they put online afterwards of, Lois misses him, and she uses the lights, the beacon, and as Superman and Doomsday are fighting each other from planets away, he hears the call, and he's just obviously going to try and make his way back home. So that's the last season. That show's coming to an end. But I think the one interesting is the actress playing Lois. She took an opportunity at the end. She's like, I know there's like DC fans in here that are sensitive to our show ending and feel like it's James Gunn's fault or something like that. And she's like I want to be clear. I talked to James. What they're doing is great. Like, don't worry. But our time has come to an end, and fully endorsed what James Gunn's doing, unsolicited. Like, there wasn't like a setup question for it. So I thought that was interesting. Most of the other stuff didn't catch it. The Keanu Reeves has Berserker panel. He's Berserker comic that he's been working on. He's actually has a movie that's coming to Netflix, a live action film that's in the works. He's got a writer working on that. And he's also working on an animated series as well for the Berserker comics too. Cool. So that comic has not only grown with Keanu you assume Keanu is going to play the character because he looks like him. Right. It's based off thing, but we'll find out. Star Trek didn't really. I took a nap. No offense to the Star Trek fans.
That was your nap time.
That was my nap time, and I can tell you from like when I went to the bathroom break and I walked down, literally almost everyone down the other aisles were taking naps too. It's for those who love it, please. I'm not trying to slide it.
Isn't like that new Star Trek thing like not good?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. It's weird because they just keep making more. So that's why I'm like, is it doing good or is it not? Is it like Star Wars where they keep making them, but it's not?
I saw some videos out there and it looks not good.
No,
it's unfortunate.
There was only one thing that they showed us at the very end, and it's a movie with Michelle Yeoh that's coming out on Paramount Plus in 2025. That was like the one thing I was like, oh, this actually looks pretty good. I'd check that out. But everything else just wasn't for me. Then you had the Penguin panel, which was interesting because Colin Farrell was not actually present. He actually was on another. He said he was filming another movie. They didn't say what movie it was. I have no idea. But he actually videoed live, zoomed in, like what we're doing now.
Oh, okay.
He zoomed into the room. It was very funny. But once Matt Reeves was there, and they talked through the project, and basically was saying how the storyline that they had here was at one point was going to be the Batman 2. But they took Batman out of it and just kind of focusing on what happens when Batman's not here and what happened with the Falcones in the last movie. And now Falcone's daughter feels like it's her birthright to take on, the running Gotham. But then obviously Cobblepot feels like it's the same, and they have a history with each other and make a mini series out of that. What we saw from there just, still interests me. I thought the Penguin was the best anti-hero villain of that movie. I did not like the Riddler that much. I don't think he's terrible. I just didn't love him the way, other stuff. I felt like the Penguin was the standout. Like that Penguin stuff was so good.
It was really good.
But then you get to Marvel, and it's so crazy because people taking naps and this whatever, and the energy just rises in the room. People wake up when that Marvel logo shows up. So they started a little bit late. Smoke starts going across the room, right? Like there's like a fog. They have a fog machines going all around, so we know that they're about to do something. All of a sudden, the red and white lights start flickering, and a bunch of Deadpool variants start running and dancing down the hallways. In comes in a choir, and they're singing, I want to take you there. Right. They're just great. So then from there you have the you have then, from there you had them jump right into Kevin Feige coming on stage. Usually you get the whole phase four, not or new phase like
Oh, the
timeline show up on
timeline,
the
right?
screen, right? And that's when people get excited. They didn't do that this time. Feige says we're going to show you 3 films today. They did not talk about Agatha. They didn't talk about any TV stuff at all.
Oh,
Acted like it didn't exist, which I found to be fascinating.
interesting. Those are
Only
write-offs,
film.
dude.
Those are right. They don't have faith. I don't think to have to go that.
Okay.
And we didn't talk about it on the show because I don't care, to be honest.
We never talked about that trailer, right? That Agatha trailer.
No.
So that was like She-Hulk vibes, dude. Because the trailer, it was the same thing. The trailer starts and it's like, yo, what the heck is this? And then about halfway through the trailer, things start going down. I was like, oh no, oh does not look great. So, I don't. It's gonna be there. I'm probably not gonna watch it, but whatever.
No, exactly. I'm not. I have no interest in catching. When it all drops, I'll probably just jump through and try and catch through a bunch of stuff.
No.
Yeah, I think that it just made sense. Like, what they just going with the films and promoting the films that they had. The first film was Captain America: Brave New World, which I talked about a little bit there. Brought the main cast out. The director did not come out; he had COVID.
I saw bits of the panel. That one.
Yeah, totally. No, yeah, super cool. Mackie was having a lot of fun out there at Tom Holland's expense. Yes, Harrison Ford was there, which was awesome to see Harrison with my own eyes. Like, the legend is here. This is great.
Right.
And he looks great, man, for his age. He's running on stage. He's running over and he's kicking Anthony Mackie with his shoe and putting his arm around. And so they're just having fun. This is the stuff we did on set. He gave a good endorsement saying how, like, he said, I talked to other actors. I saw the fun that they're having with Marvel, and I wanted to get in on the fun too. So it's like, clearly word of mouth is like people enjoy working with Marvel Studios, which is great. And especially for an actor of his tier.
Yeah.
We got the new trailer. I can spoil some stuff if you guys don't care what the footage was. But first opening sequence, they show us it's a summit. The summit, some of it you've seen a bit before, but with President Ross and some of the world leaders. He says that they have made a discovery. Captain America helped them make this discovery. They found the celestial cord in the ocean, clearly from what we know from Eternals. And they have found a new element, and this element needs to be shared with the world for discovery. And I think that they basically say, like, hey, what the new element is adamantium. And everyone goes crazy because, like, oh my gosh. So this is how adamantium comes to it. You'd imagine that probably Strikers is going to hear about from this and other things, but they do it accurately. But that was a huge discovery. There's an attack from what's believed to be the Serpent Society, because we now know that Giancarlo's character is the king of the Serpent Society. There is a lot of crazy action set pieces, like just aerial action set pieces on land. Remind me a lot of like Winter Soldier style action set pieces.
Yeah, that's the vibes.
In a great way. You see the White House get blown up, and you also see, like, on the front lawn of the White House, that there's, like, General Ross is, like, surrounded by President Ross is surrounded by, like, his Secret Service. He kind of pushes them aside, and Hulking out, obviously, goes full red. And we saw full Red Hulk. Like, we didn't get we saw the whole thing. Yeah. Looks really good. It looks like Harrison, but in a cool way.
Yeah.
So that was fun. You got the Thunderbolts they had next. Thunderbolts was kind of interesting because Thunderbolts was kind of interesting just because they took things and they had, like, the actor David Harbour. He came out in costume, like, running through the audience, was having fun, joking about it. But they didn't talk too much. I think they were trying to speed it along a little fast because of what was coming towards the end. But Florence Pugh talked about how, like, she likes to do a lot of her own. She wanted to do more of her own stunts. I know there's a lot of stunts in the project. And then says, oh, you want to see some of the stunts, and shows us footage. So we got to see footage from the Thunderbolts. Basically, the footage that we get from there, they're showing us, like, the Thunderbolts are each of them in their own places in life, like they are not happy because they're not really like doing anything for their potential or doing the work that they're used to doing. Like the Red Guardian is just like, bumming out, drinking beers like on the couch. You've got the what's this dude's name? That was in Captain America, Falcon and the Winter
Oh,
Soldier.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent, like he's like a stay-at-home dad or something. Like they're each like doing stuff, but like they're not happy where they are. And then something happens where they all get like an invite to go to this one particular place, and there's a lot of cuts, so they're hiding things, but they start fighting each other, and it's like, wait, who sent you? Who sent you? And then in comes Bob, which is ironically the same actor who plays Bob in Top Gun Maverick, and he's like, wait, you guys all got the invite too. Doors all shut down on them, and we don't know what his ability is, which is interesting because all the other characters we know for the most part because we've seen them on screen before. He's probably the only one that's actually like a powered character, is my assumption, because everyone else is kind of grounded,
Right.
guns, special training, weapons, those kind of things. Um, then like from there, they give us a lot of action pieces. They show the characters like walking similar like they did in an Endgame, like how everyone's got like the matching suits and they're walking the white suits and stuff. Kind of similar setup like that with each of the characters walking, saying we need to get to the bottom of this, but not showing us who the villain is or what really a grasp of what the story is. They hit a lot of that and just kept flashing a lot of action pieces that were cool, but didn't really reveal anything.
Yeah.
So movie comes out next year. We'll probably get a more legitimate story trailer at some point there. You move into the next film, Fantastic Four. It's cool. Director comes out. Obviously, same guy worked on WandaVision. He talks about how like he loves that 60s kind of aesthetic, and then how Fantastic Four is kind of like an Elseworld 60s that's also kind of futuristic. So it's kind of like it's the 60s meets the Jetsons.
It's
if that makes sense.
Tomorrowland.
It's Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then like you have from there like all this way of just like you have this way of just being like secretive, and they don't have much to say, but then they tell us, you know what, we're gonna show you guys some previs. We haven't even started shooting. They started shooting on Monday of this week is when they actually started
Oh,
shooting.
really?
for the
Okay.
film. So they were in London.
Oh, yeah,
did some
because they
screen
they were flying out like that same afternoon, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like they literally
Yeah,
left
yeah.
Comic Con, went straight to London.
Yep.
They did some stuff of just like screen testing and some visual effects stuff that was just kind of testing. And he said, look, we put together this sizzle to give you an idea of just like the feeling and the mood and the vibe of this movie, but it's not actually like shot until we start shooting on Monday. But then they basically the stuff they show us is like Pedro as Mr. Fantastic, like teaching in a school. And it's like a chalkboard, and he's like doing this whole equation. It's like all these kids, and they're just kind of bored. And then he's like, "You guys want an explosion?" Like, yeah, cool. And he just like makes like a cosmic explosion. You get to see like all of them in like their spacesuits together, walking around. Something seems a little different about Johnny. Johnny's not like the flyboy kind of playboy, cool kind of thing.
Okay.
He seemed more timid in the scenes that they show, reserved. In fact, Sue Storm actually says something like, "Oh, like by the way, like my brother's single," like to everybody out there listening, and he just kind of like blushes and like pushes it off. We see something with the thing, like we see like the outline of the thing where basically there's like a dating show, like a TV show, and the girl's like, oh, I choose to go out with contestant number 3, and then like you see contestant number 3 is like the outline of the thing, which looks great, like looks really, really good. And then like you get like a spaceship sequence, like showing them in a spaceship that was like futuristic of them going out. And then the very last tease that they just all of a sudden jump to is showing Galactus looking into some type of studio apartment looking kind of
Right.
spot, maybe New York, maybe another planet, I don't know. But it still was really fun. And then they brought out the cast. They talk a little bit. They flew the actual car over us in the audience, which is so cool.
Yeah.
But it's really, really fun. And then like Feige says, By the way, the entire Fantastic Four will be in our next two Avengers films. And talk about the Avengers. Let's make an announcement. Screen goes black, shows us some scenes for the Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Civil War, Endgame, and then big on the screen, the Russos are back. Joe and Anthony Russo take the stage. Everything that you've seen online for the most part. Let's talk about Secret Wars. We're doing this thing. We love it. It's a comic that we really have enjoyed. Anthony Russo talks about how like he grew up reading it, how he thinks it's like one of the most ambitious storylines in all of comics, and it's like we thought we were done with Endgame, but this is what what we're doing with this, and we're coming back. And it's, you can't get rid of us yet. They joke, and then that's when they say like, if we're gonna do that, we need to have another character show up. And that's when the Doomsday thing pulls up on the screen. Like Doomsday is gonna be first before you get to Secret Wars, and that's when you get all of a sudden the Dooms take the stage, and they're singing and they're kind of European style like choir, oh whatever coming through, and then they separate to reveal RDJ takes the mask off and he's Doom, and that's how they end the panel. They say this is Victor Von Doom.
Okay. How do you feel about it? That's what I want to know. I'm still very conflicted.
No, so here's the thing. I talked to a few people about this because I had heard about this beforehand, and you and I talked about this a little bit beforehand offline. Like I had heard about the rumor because it came from a legitimate source, but the same source shot down and said, "Hey, they're actually not going to do this."
Right.
And I see that they're at this place where like they have to go back to their guns. They have to go back to what's successful. So bring the Russos back makes sense. Bring RDJ makes sense. But what I didn't want them to do was to be like, well, it's Tony Stark that turned into Doom. Like, I don't want that storyline. I understand that that's a comic book storyline,
right,
but I don't want that.
Right.
And it's obvious that there's clearly a tie-in.
So we're probably not gonna see him without the mask at all.
I don't think so, man.
More than likely.
I don't know.
I don't think we'll see him at all with, and we see him is gonna be like some Oppenheimer type of like makeup where, like yeah. So.
I just think that I became more okay with it because when they brought him on stage, they said, "This is Victor Von Doom." They didn't say this is Tony Stark,
right,
or this is Doom. They said this is Victor Von Doom. And that to me made me feel better because I'm saying he's not playing a variant of Tony Stark that just turned him to go evil. Like he's like Victor Von Doom's always been Victor Von Doom.
Right.
If Tony Stark was the one who saved the universe, the I am Iron Man, the snap of the finger, amazing cinematic moment, and then you have another someone who shares the face but is a different person be the same one to bring doom to the entire universe. It's kind of poetic in its own way. There's a comic book that's been shared with me that I'm looking through. I'm not super well versed in it. But there is a comic book where essentially Doctor Doom in one universe actually kills Tony Stark. They go to college together. His mother was a witch, and like that's how he learns like magic and stuff. His parents get murdered. Father was an inventor. He goes to like MIT or something, and in college, he gets into a fight with like Tony Stark and actually kills him. Takes his Tony Stark designs and uses those things to make between magic and technology to make his suit and to make the Doom bots and to take control of the world. And he thinks he's a hero for the world. It's not like he's doing it just because he's angry. There's more to it than that.
Right.
I think that's what the route they're going to go. I don't think it's going to be exactly that. Like they'll do it how they do it. It's Marvel, it's TV. It is not. Marvel Films. This is not a comic book direct adaptation. Let's be real. Civil War is not the same as it is in the comics. But there are pillars and there's storylines and things that they're doing. I think that's what they're going for. And when they ended the panel, the Russo brothers basically begged the fans and said, "Hey, give us a chance. Give us a chance. Please have an open mind. And let's see what happens."
Right.
But yeah, man, I don't know how you feel about it, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like from a buzz point of view, like creating buzz around, it's like, oh, this is going to be the next big thing for Marvel. I think that's, it's a slam dunk, right? Um, it just seems a little bit desperate, and but again, I can see that Marvel is putting the effort to course correct the like post Endgame, post No Way Home uh MCU. You know, they're good. They want to leave, you know, She-Hulk behind and Eternals behind, and all these projects that and even the Strange for what it was, right? Um, it feels like they really care about it and they really want to leave the missteps behind, and that's great. Is he the right man for the job? Sure, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Could it have been someone else? Yeah, too. And that's the thing, right? I'm cool with it. I'm just not like necessarily excited, but I'm fine. Like I'm not gonna, you know, he's a great actor. Whatever he does, he's gonna do it, and he's gonna be fine. Um, I just feel like they should have given the opportunity to another actor.
No, I
But
understand.
yeah,
I understand.
but he's gonna be great at it.
No, I
There's no
understand.
question about that. So
There's other actors I would have. If it was me, I probably would not have gone this route. But clearly, Bob Iger coming back here saying like, "Let's bring back the Russos, bring back people." How do you get RDJ back? Well, you get him back by doing something different. Because I don't think he's going to come back to do the same
right,
shtick again.
right.
That makes sense. So I think that's just how they. Yeah,
I agree.
that's how they know they're going to make money.
I don't know if you saw a video that Theory put out there
No.
about. Okay, so Theory put out a video about uh, the the disconnect inside Disney where Marvel is course correcting and doing and taking the right steps to, you know, course correct after, you know, some of the missteps. Because I don't want to say that everything has been bad. I think Shang-Chi was fine. You know, Spider-Man was fine. But then you get Miss Marvel and the Marvels and Eternals and now Agatha and Ironheart, like stuff that no one asks about, right? And I don't, you know, I'm not saying I haven't watched Agatha or Ironheart, right? I'm not
Right.
saying, right? I'm not saying that
Right.
they're going to be another She-Hulk.
We don't know.
But they sure seem open to, hey, why not just go back and do the thing that everyone loved? And then
I agree.
And then why isn't Star Wars doing it? And they keep experimenting with this, like people that have like no clue what they're doing. I'm just straight up. I'm sorry, right? And he was just ranting about us, like why doesn't Star Wars just course correct and bring someone that actually cares and let those 4 writers go that they're trash and get someone that can actually write stuff. So from the business standpoint, it's a stroke of genius. It's one of those rare like stroke of genius, right? It's like, oh yeah, let's bring back the good guy, but make him bad now. I think that's great. We'll see. He's gonna be fine. Like regardless, I know that he's gonna do a great job, right? Again, I just feel like they should have given the opportunity to another actor, but I'm cool with it. Like
I
I'm
agree.
fine. So
I agree. Yeah, it's not something that makes me angry. That we did
yeah,
a
not
fun
at all.
clickbait
Yeah,
title here, but it's also like not the route that I would have expected or wanted to go. But I think I have faith because of who's involved in the project and the talent, all this that it will still be a really fun, really cool, films. I'm excited for Doomsday, and I feel like it's kind of the same. If you think about it, you take a step back. I literally feel like they are doing Infinity War Endgame again, but in a different storyline. I'm not saying it's like copy and paste, but it's like Doomsday they'll probably will lose, like how Infinity War they lose, and then in Endgame, all will be made right,
right.
But just doing it with a new storyline, and I'm okay with that.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, man, it's good. Like I mentioned with Deadpool, like there's nothing that significantly points at what's next. But they do give you like it ends in where this thing could go places. So yeah, it's cool. And you'll see it when you watch it. You'll see what I mean, especially now that those announcements are out, right? So yeah, man, it was good. I think it was good. I think they had a good show. Because they needed to reassure the fan base. Listen, we heard you, and we're gonna work on getting back to where we were, and we're making moves. So hang tight. Did they say it was 2026 for Doomsday or?
Yeah, Doomsday's in 2 years, so
Yeah.
2026, and then you have 2027 is the Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So they're clearly filming them together.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that was like the big culmination because then Sunday was cool. I just did some more like industry kind of stuff. I went to a panel with the X-Men 97 voice cast, which was great hearing some of their personal stories. And then and then got to hear from some of the composers, the Kiner family that does the composition for Clone Wars and Rebels and Tales of the Jedi and
For the
any
animation.
of those animation stuff, which was really great.
Cool.
And oh my goodness. Oh, so speaking of X-Men 97, I have a funny story for you.
Yeah.
So while I'm waiting in line for Hall H on Friday, me and the other people that were in the group together waiting online, we're just like we hear them talk about like Baudemeo like coming out like to like the line, like he's gonna be coming to the line where everyone is.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I'm like, wait, what? And we're trying to understand what's going on. And lo and behold, while I'm in line and I messaged about it,
Yeah.
they bring him like he comes out and he comes over and I'm like, oh my gosh, he comes over and he sits in the line, sits in one of the chair, the beach chairs, whatever the guys had out there on this area that we're waiting, and just sitting there and just talking. And I'm thinking to myself, no way this guy's here waiting in line. I'm like, if he's sitting in line, like things had to have been really bad between him and Marvel. Like there's no way, because like this guy would still be able to get in the room. Like there's no, but anyways, I end up then finding out later on, because I left to go to something else. He ended up taking pictures with people. I left too soon. I couldn't get the pictures with them. But I ended up finding out that actually that was not the case. That one of the guys in the lines actually tweeted at him, said, "Hey, we're waiting in the sun here in this line. Like shot is shot," and basically said like, "Hey, would you come by and just say hi to his fans?" And he actually was, "Yeah, sure." And he just showed up and did it.
Okay,
I was like,
okay.
a good gesture. So it wasn't what I thought it was originally.
Right.
Ironically, he was telling, according to the people that around me, someone asked him about it, and he began to say something about, well, what happened was, and I kid you not, there was a Crunchyroll concert that was happening right next to where we were. They were doing a sound test. They were doing music for a bunch of the different Bayonetta and different games they were doing the live performances for, and they just started playing it at the same time he was talking, so couldn't hear what the story was. Like, we want to know the tea, what happened. I digress. I heard from someone else who has they know some people in the industry, someone from Los Angeles. I spoke to him while I was out there, and they told me from what they had heard, and it's all hearsay. This is a fact. I'm not trying to defame this guy or anything. But the allegations was that he was very difficult to work with creatively. That he made things hard on everybody that was working around him. People did not like working with him. He was very, very challenging in that way, and that's when they just decided to go their separate ways because of a lot of problems behind the scenes with that. If that's true, I don't know. But that's better. In some ways, that's like a better situation than what some of those minds might have been.
We're not looking at an Ezra Miller scenario here. They didn't choke anyone.
Exactly.
That's reassuring, at least. Yeah. Good stuff, dude. I'm glad you had a great time. and I can't wait to see what you got in store. And yeah, that was that's pretty much it. Oh, one more thing that I watched, I totally forgot. The half of the Cobra Kai season that came out. It's still Cobra Kai. It's still good. That should have
Yeah, I
been
haven't watched it
that
yet.
should have been Star Wars. It's like, let's do this before people start dying off. Dang it. Oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, man, you guys stay tuned for some of the content that's gonna be trickling down in the channel. I'm gonna post some clips from tonight, and yeah, you guys stay tuned. But in the meantime, Joel, where can people find us?
Well, everyone, make sure you stay tuned, stay subscribed. We got more content from Comic Con to share, things that have captured stuff. So, like we're saying, stay tuned. So, make sure you are, first of all, subscribe to the podcast on podcast platforms of your choice: Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. We're out there. Find us, subscribe to us, write a review. That helps the show to be found by others, just so we can have a good time together with all the good people on the internet and just celebrate the stuff we love, right? Then we also want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. If you like the videos and drop comments, again, that just helps. It's a free thing. We're not asking for your money in that way. You're just asking for your support. However, if you do want to help us financially, I just think that you got to take an opportunity to take a look at our Patreon. Support the show on Patreon. We have as little as $1 a month you can do. Literally, that $1 stuff helps us to use towards some of the fees that we already pay for with some of the existing stuff. This isn't all free that we're doing here. We do it out of our own pockets. And there's some other initiatives of things that we want to do to help grow the show and some really cool ideas, but we can't do it without support. So if you kindly consider as minimum as low as $1, you do. Then, we want you to also follow us on social media: Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, X, at No Load Time. Find us, follow us there. You'll see some of those other posts that I was talking about coming about. And last but not least, if you have an email, comment, question, send an email to us: noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe we'll talk about what you send in on a future episode. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to being with you next time.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.